In this week's Parsha, we're introduced to the story of Yosef and his brothers. The Torah teaches us that there was a certain sense of jealousy and even hatred between them. Now obviously, this wasn't some petty sibling rivalry. It was something a lot deeper, which is hard for us to even comprehend. But we study the story and we see what message the Torah has in store for us. The story goes on how the brothers actually throw Yosef into a pit and end up selling him as a slave down to Egypt. Yosef, all alone, a young man, is left as a stranger in a foreign land. He gets a job by a man named Potiphar. After a little while, his boss wrongly accuses him for some immoral behavior, and Yosef is thrown into prison. It is at this moment where Yosef suddenly experiences a sudden turn of events that nobody could have guessed. As he's being let in, the prison guard takes a look at him and he says, "Hey, Yosef, you're the man I was looking for. I want you to run the entire prison ward, the entire facility." And he gives the reason, and he says, "It's because I see that everything that you do, you're successful at." Now, to me personally, this last statement is from the most puzzling statements in the entire Torah. Here you have a young boy whose brothers disowned him. He's sold as a slave down to a foreign country. He finally gets a job only to be thrown into prison. And when things hit rock bottom, he is told by somebody that everything he does, he's successful at. What is this, some type of a cruel joke? What's the meaning of this? There was once an actor, we'll call him Joe. One morning, Joe gets a phone call from his agent, and his agent tells him, says, "Joe, there's a film being produced in the near future, and I want to offer you the leading role. This comes along with a lot of cash, a lot of fame. I'll send you the script, get back to me tomorrow." The next morning, the phone rings, it's Joe. He tells his agent, "I read the print, I read the script, I love the plot, but there's no way I'm taking this part." His agent says, "Why? Are you out of your mind? This is your moment." Joe says, "It's a great plot, and I have the leading role. But my role is to be a poor person, to be unsuccessful, to be a loser. There's no way I could do that. I can't have people look at me in such a light. There's no way I'm taking this part. I'm out." And he hangs up the phone. Now obviously, this story never took place. Why? Because every actor knows that he'll never be judged by the script. And he'll never be judged as to how successful he is in the plot, because that script was pre-written. He'll be judged by one thing and one thing only, and that is how well he executed his part and how well he played his character. Our lives are very similar. We come down to this world, but the script of our lifetime experience was written way before we were even born. It is written by God Himself and tailor-made for every individual for him to succeed and to complete his mission on this world. We come down to this world, and our job is to use our God-given talents to the best of our ability, to work hard, try hard, but the script was written before. The circumstances of our family, business, social life has nothing to do with us. That was all pre-written. It is our job to play the part correctly. Now, don't get me wrong. Someone that sits by and sits on the recliner and just reads the paper is doomed to fail, and he's the only one to blame. However, somebody that puts in all of his effort, and for some reason the outcome doesn't match his expectation, he should realize that he was successful. Why? Because that outcome was pre-written, and he played his part to his fullest ability. So he was successful. We come home many times, we feel dejected. We tried in one area and it seems like we failed. Yes, the outcome may not be what we expected, but we were successful. Yosef experienced many setbacks in his life, but he knew that was to no fault of his own. That was because that's where God put him. And he tried his hardest in every circumstance. He gave it all he had. So he knew that he was successful. He was really successful. He walked into the prison with his head high, his shoulders tall. Why? Because he had that self-confidence that he was doing the right thing. And that's what everyone saw. If we live our lives with this recognition, we're suddenly enveloped with a feeling of tranquility and calmness. And we could focus on the great mission and opportunity that God gave us with our time on this world. Have a great Shabbos.